Now let's look into the heat supplied. Heat supplied is Q1 in the boiler. So we are supplying the heat between 1 and 10 in the schematic diagram. So this is the state 1 and this is the state 10. So the enthalpy here is H1 and enthalpy at the boiler inlet is HF10 or simply H10 we can say. So this is the heat supplied into the boiler, that is Q1. So Q1 is but the mass of the steam is 1 kg. So hence so H1 minus H10 kilojoule per kg is the amount of heat supplied inside the boiler. So heat rejected. Next look into the heat rejection. So heat is rejected, Q2 is rejected in the condenser. So that is condenser is operating between the states 4 and 5. The mass of the steam which is flowing inside the condenser is 1 minus m1 minus m2. So that is the formula would be 1 minus m1 minus m2 into higher enthalpy is H4 minus H5. So this is the heat rejection formula that we can write. So then after calculating individually the heat supplied and turbine work, pump work, so we can substitute in the thermal efficiency formula, that is turbine work minus pump work divided by heat supplied. So this is the way we will be able to calculate the thermal efficiency of the open feed water heater with 2 heaters in a regenerative Rankine cycle. And regarding pump work, so we can also calculate the individual pump works using these formulae, and this we have already discussed. So steam rate, we know already the formula. Through this we can calculate our steam rate in this cycle. So now to find the mass of the steam bled, that is M1 in open feed water heater. So we are bleeding M1 in feed water heater 1. So to calculate this M1 value, so we take feed water 1 separately and we do the energy balance for that. So this is the feed water heater 1. So after taking it outside from this schematic diagram, here at the inlet of this feed water heater there are 2 inlet energies. So one is M1 and H2, another one is H8 1 minus M1. So both goes inside, and H9 is the, that is state 9 is the outlet of feed heater water 1. So now we will do the energy balance for this feed water heater. So we have M1 into H2 as one side inlet energy, another one is 1 minus M1 into H8, so which will be equal to H9. So this energy balance for feed heater water 1, so we can write mathematically, this is the expression, that is H9 is outlet enthalpy, H8 into 1 minus M1, M1 into H2. So this is the energy balance. So then we will simplify this equation using algebra. So therefore first we will open this bracket, that is M1 into M1 into H2, so we write it. So then H8 into M1 minus M1 H8, which is equal to H9. So then again H9 minus H8 means H8 is combined with H9 term, so that is H9 minus H8 is equal to M1 is taken common from these 2 terms. So therefore M1 into H2 minus H8. So hence we will be able to find out the expression for M1, that is H9 minus H8, H9 minus H8 divided by H2 minus H8. So this is the formula for the mass of the steam bled and sent into the feed water heater 1. So then again similarly, so we need to find the mass of the steam bled in from the turbine into feed water heater 2. So that is M2 we are supposed to calculate. So it is at pressure 3, it is bled at point 3 here from the state 3 and sent it to the feed water heater. So then we do the energy balance for feed water heater 2. So this is one inlet and this is another inlet, so we have the outlet as a 7. So we'll take this one outside and we do the energy balance for this feed water heater. So to find the mass of steam bled M2 in feed water heater 2, so this is the view of a feed water heater 2. So here, so as I have told you, this is the enlarged view of feed water heater 2. So here there are two inlet energies. So one is M2 into H3, another one is 1 minus M1 minus M2 into H6. So and outlet is H7 into 1 minus M1. So we'll write the energy balance expression for feed water heater 2. So that is M2 into H3, M2 into H3. So this is one energy. One more is 1 minus M1 H6. This is another one, and outlet is 1 minus M1 into H7. So this is the outlet. So we balance this energy and then further we simplify this using mathematics. So here I have opened this bracket, so that is H6 into 1 H6 we have written. So then again H6 into M1 H6 we have written, minus M2 into H6, so M2 H6 we have written. So then again I open this bracket also, that is H7 into 1 H7 we have written, minus M1 into H7. So then if we further continue, so M2 I have taken common from these two terms, that is M2 into H3 minus H6 plus M1 H7 I have written as it is, and M1 H6 M1 terms I combined, and H7 H6 term I am shifting on right hand side, so H7 minus H6 I got. So then again after that, so M2 H3 minus H6 from the previous step. So now I have taken M1 common from this word, that is M1 into H7 minus H6. So H7 minus H6 I have kept common. So in the next step, so I have shifted this term onto the RHS and we have written the next step. Then we will combine I will take H7 minus H6 common, so that 1 minus M1 into H7 minus H6 I will be able to. So from this expression, so I will be able to get the expression for M2. So that is shifting this H3 minus H6 on the RHS. So this will give me the formula for the mass of the steam bled from the steam turbine and fed into the feed water heater 2. That is M2 is equal to 1 minus M1 H7 minus H6 divided by H3 minus H6. So this is the formula. So now let's further continue our discussion. Regenerative Rankine cycle with closed feed water heater. So we have already studied the schematic diagram for closed feed water heater. See, the advantage of this is there is no mixing of feed water as well as the bled steam in the closed feed water heater. So here the two streams at different pressures, they can work at different pressures. There is no compulsion that so it should work in at only one pressure, that is the bleed steam pressure. So now here condensed steam then pumped into the feed water line or routed to another heater or can be sent into the condenser. So there is a choice for us in this. So then this is the closed feed water heater that we have already seen in the previous slides. So this is the view of closed feed water heater, so that we have already discussed in the previous slides. So then let's look into the differences between open feed water heater as well as closed feed water heater, a few differentiations. So open feed water heater, as we have seen, it's a very simple in construction, but it is complex because there is a internal tubing network. It's like almost a heat exchanger. So then since there are no tubes inside, it is inexpensive when compared to closed feed water heater, so it is more expensive when compared to the open feed water heater. And now good heat transfer characteristics are there, since both bled steam as well as steam mixes in the feed water heater, and less effectiveness because two streams are not in direct contact with each other. There is an indirect contact between them. So then again, here in open feed water heater, each feed water heater uses a pump which is required to handle feed water heater, but here no separate pump is not required for each feed water heater. So these are the differentiations that we can note down. So let's look into the next slide, that is a summary of this module, that is module number 3. So for initially we discussed the Carnot cycle theory, and we solved a few problems on Carnot cycle. So then again, after that we studied the Rankine cycle to overcome the limitations of Carnot vapor power cycle. So we studied the ideal cycle for vapor power cycles, then energy analysis of ideal Rankine cycle we had done. So then deviation of actual vapor power cycle from the idealized ones. So what were the reasons, and we have solved numericals on ideal Rankine cycle as well as actual Rankine cycle. So after that, how can we increase the Rankine cycle efficiency? So we have seen the methods to increase the efficiency of Rankine cycle. So we studied the effect of lowering the condenser pressure and again superheating the steam to very high temperatures, then increasing the boiler pressure. So these are very important from exam point of view. So we have studied in our previous video lectures. So then the ideal reheat cycle we have studied. So ideal reheat cycle, and we have solved numericals on ideal reheat cycle. So then ideal regenerative cycle we discussed. So under this we have discussed about open feed water heater and then closed feed water heater, their working line diagram as well as schematic diagram we have studied. Out of this, open feed water heater is very important from exam point of view. Then we'll solve numericals on this, and I thank you. So thus we finish the theory on vapor power cycles with this video. Thank you. For any clarifications or any doubts, please feel free to contact me.